both of the finalists. I'm starting to think this might actually be a real deck.
Perhaps this deck is powerful.
No, I don't think. I mean, I think the deck is absolutely awesome, and I don't think there's any question. This is one of the premier decks now. You know, like Delver of Secrets used so well, so aggressively. It's like a nimble mongoose, but it turns on even faster and flies. And you can pitch it to Force Will.
Yeah, it's just incredible. The fact that you can pitch it to Force Will really like changes those numbers up and lets you like fit more removal spells in the deck and do things like that. And the fact that you have Snapcaster Mage means you get to play more removal spells without as many slots. And then you can play these permission spells, and it seems like you're good against combo decks, you're good against creature decks, and you just crush anybody who dares have a weak mana base.
Yeah, because I mean, like if you're stifling and wastelanding and snapcasting this deck, and this deck was just brewed up. You said just off the kitchen table.
Yeah, this was just a Lou Laskin kitchen table brew originally.
Louis Laskin, who's had some success in the Star City circuit himself over the past year and a half.
Well, not this exact deck.
No, not with this deck. I'm saying Louis Laskin has had some success. Like he did well with Rug, I think. Like maybe was it a year ago? Not even a year ago, right?
No, I mean he's done well.
Yeah, he's done a number of times.
Playing a lot of different decks.
Yep, brews it up and apparently breaks the format based on the.
I think the Delver of Secrets thing was Jupiter Games people before it was like the type of archetype was definitely not Lou. Lou was the genesis of Temporal Spring.
One Temporal Spring, the deck. No. I think Delver of Secrets was used by a lot of people because I mean
that was. So this is not necessarily a Lou Laskin deck, but the.
No, I think anybody who like it's his exact 75.
Well, not Lou. Lou.
Wait, which one did he build?
He built one from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that was the inspiration for the one last week that was only off by like 3 cards or something.
Yeah, well, it like cut a bunch of lands. It like didn't. They're just they're changing cards and then.
I think this is actually probably just Michael Flores's run. Right? Like I mean.
Didn't Svi Moshevitz make this deck?
It's possible. I think it's probably safe to blame Kibler. That's go ahead and innovate this one.
I don't know, because there's no Elspeth in the deck. Or Knight of the Reliquary.
So, Christopher is he on the play this game? Or is it John? Chris. Yeah, Chris is on the play. And it looks like both players going to keep their 7. We're off to the races.
Yeah, Scalding Target's cracked. Christopher's going to drop down to 19. And I'm going to wager dollars to donuts that he's going to get a basic land here.
You think so? I don't think so.
Wow.
So, let's see. Do you owe me donuts or dollars? I'll take either side of that position. It's like...
Oh, man, I owe one or the other.
No.
He doesn't even have basics in the deck. That's why
like
that was such a donkey play.
So
it's late. Come on.
He's actually got the checklist in his deck? This guy.
I used all my brain power earlier figuring out how to kill somebody with a birthing pot and a 2-drop.
So, what I actually think this is a matchup where going first is kind of potentially sweet, because if you can get ahead of the guy, Stifle can cause some real problems. Now,
Definitely.
Do you think Jonathan has Bolt here?
If he does, that's what he's going to do.
I don't know. He might just brainstorm, because I don't think he has the Bolt. Ponder? Yeah. Even better. Yeah, I agree with you. If he had the Bolt, he would Bolt here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So what are each player looking to do? I mean, what's more important, Delver or Termaglyph? Like, which is the clock of choice?
I don't know. I think like they're both really valuable, and they both don't interact favorably with each other. You know?
And the Delver is faster and cheaper.
Yes.
But it dies to the bolts. Whereas the Goyf is real strong against these kind of decks.
It certainly is.
So, the rumors that Tarmogoyf is not good in Legacy, as it turns out, surprisingly, shockingly, erroneous.
Now, I feel that these style of Rug decks are actually weak against the blue-white Stoneforge decks. So it's interesting, we're here on the West Coast where those decks are not really as huge as they are on the East Coast. Like, I saw very few people playing those decks in this tournament.
Not very many.
I mean, a lot of people I saw playing Stoneforge were. Oh, so we have a Tarmogoyf on one side of the table.
These are the kind of beats that are going to make it real hard for Jonathan to come back, because he's got both the Delver and the Glyph we talked about, and now he doesn't have any land. Combination of trying to win a fight with Dazes and just being a little, being on the draw anyway. It's a real bad spot for him. Now, at least if he has Dismember, he can slow the bleeding, but from the looks of it, he doesn't have it, and he's got Bolt. He can Bolt the Delver. It's not really clear. I mean, is he waiting just to get information about the top of Christopher's deck?
Yeah, I guess that is information that you can use to your advantage.
Oh no, he's bluffing Stifle. I guess he's not. He's just waiting. I was gonna say, because he might be holding up the blue to threaten Stifle on Wasteland so that he gets a turn so that he can try to Goyf. Because Goyf is one of the better answers to Goyf.
Yeah, they just bounce off one another.
Yeah.
You know what makes you want to go for? Shuko.
I was thinking Noble Hierarch or Kasali Pride Mage just to keep it all the way legit, but dude, if you Shuko the Goyf and just bash and win the mirror.
Alright, so another Goyf gets cast by Christopher
brutal,
Atashian.
Right? I mean, like, even if he plays a Goyf here, he's so far behind.
Yeah,
these are not catch-up decks. What needs to happen? He needs to draw. I mean, if he draws another Bolt, he can actually kill one of the Goyfs.
Yeah, and then he's right back in this.
I mean, he's only one guy behind, I guess, but he needs a red mana also. And if Christopher wants to, he can just go ahead and waste the Volcanic. That's what I do. Just turn off double Bolt.
Seems like a very reasonable play at this point. And we never know. Christian might just have
Spring
another
Goyf. Sure, absolutely.
And Temporal Spring would be pretty insane. Yeah.
Just Temporal Spring him into next Tuesday.
So sorcery, creature, instant, land.
Dude, it's killing me. Checklists, dice to keep track of how big the Tarmogoyf is. I think this is psychological warfare by Christopher.
Yeah, the dice on the Tarmogoyf is not something you should do. So, at Basius just pointed out that Curse of Death's Hold actually wins the Goyf mirror.
Absolutely, and completely locks him out of Delvers. Never even gives him a chance to flip. Absolutely, and Snapcasters.
Yeah. And Elves, who can never be that card.
Completely just cleans it up.
Right,
and I think actually every single creature in the Storm deck dies to Curse of Death's Hold.
Alright, so
2 Tarmogoyfs
getting in the red zone.
bashing in.
John's gonna block 1. He's gonna take 4 and drop down to 11 here.
So one of the things he can do is that if he can keep red mana on his opponent's turn, he could Goyf, block a Goyf, and bolt the Goyf that he blocked.
And that's another Goyf.
Yeah, how much Goyf could a Goyf block if a Goyf block was... Goyf number 3 comes down.
So just as a strategy pointer to those observing right now, putting dice in your Tarmogoyf is not something you have to do at all. And
as a matter of fact, it's not even legal. It's
you
soft
need to.
disallowed, but
you're
allowed to ask your opponent to take the dice off if you don't want them on, because there are counters in Magic, and those Tarmogoyfs do not have them. But it's still good to leave some kind of a notation to yourself.
Yeah, and if your opponent asks how big they are, you can let them count your graveyard. You don't have to tell them.
Mm-hmm. Misty Rainforest, giving him that red mana for sure. Problem is, I mean, even if he blocks 1 and bolts 1 down, he's taking 8. He drops to 2. He's probably going to have to fetch at some point. Puts him at 1. He's going to need another answer to a Tarmogoyf ASAP, which is pretty much means just another Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. Without that volcanic island.
It's always interesting. So often in the history of Tarmogoyf, the Tarmogoyf deck, drawing Tarmogoyfs is just so good in the Tarmogoyf mirror.
Yeah.
And it's always so tempting because it's weird. You end up in these situations where you're like, okay, we all want to board threads. And then you're like, well, I know the other guy's going to board threads. I'm going to take my Tarmogoyfs out. He's like, I'm going to take my Tarmogoyfs out. You just have all the threads. Back then they had Nimble Mongoose as the alternative instead of Delver. Dude, why doesn't somebody invent threads again? Dude, it's time.
It's time for the threads come back.
3 Tarmogoyfs.
Threads
go around
would
the outside.
Take it right back right here. No, not this game, but this game's pretty much over right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Lightning bolt. It is.
All right, so we're off to game 2, and we just saw how good being on the play can be.
Well, and drawing 3 Tarmogoyfs, because I think that even if Jonathan had been on the play, Christopher, I think, was highly favored because of the having 3 Tarmogoyfs.
Yeah, the triple Tarmogoyf. Well, I mean, the thing about Jonathan's hand was that he also had, days and
Oh yeah.
a bunch of other stuff. So
But he was behind the whole time
because he was behind,
yeah.
he was on the draw. All right, so we're about to ask you guys a question, and if you can answer this question correctly, you might win a whole year of premium. That's premium right up until before Ragnarok. So here we go.
Dude, it's not even Ragnarok that happens then. Armageddon and Ragnarok, 2 very, very different end of the world sort of scenarios.
Well, I know, it's not supposed to be reasonable. Anyway.
Not intended to be a factual statement.
Not intended to be a factual statement at all. Now, there's one card, which is very, very interesting. It's a sorcery. It cost 1, a green, and a blue. It's in both of these finalists' deck. This is a card that was certainly not a Legacy staple. And I think the first time we've ever even seen it in a Star City top 8 was 2 weeks ago in Baltimore. Now, I'd like to know what this sorcery is. You know?
Is it cruel? No. I didn't want to say.
No.
Wait, no? Or you can't tell. It's definitely
No,
not
again,
cruel.
3 mana sorcery.
1 blue, green.
It's in both of these decks.
Absolutely.
And pretty awesome card.
I think
Pretty funny picture, too.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I definitely think if you just take a moment, take some time to have it, it'll just leap up out at you. It'll just, just spring forward and just surge towards you. The answer is right there. Game 2, we're gonna see Jonathan Job on the play. What wins the identical mirror? I mean, obviously they're both gonna. They have the same cyborg. Are they just gonna bring in all red blasts?
Yeah, I think you bring in a ton of Red Blast, Submerge, and they have awesome cyborg cards for each other.
Just red blast and submerge is right.
Who's your favorite in this matchup?
Well, I think for the match, I like Christopher. He's
For
up
the
a
game, I like Jonathan.
Right, in the
Yes.
game, I think Jonathan's a favorite.
I would have to agree.
Both players have been looking like, have been looking like strong players. They definitely did not just accidentally meet each other with the identical 75 mirror in the finals. This is definitely this is the deck of the weekend. I guess it's probably been the deck of the last couple weeks. And it does contain Snapcaster Mage and Brainstorm.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I'm
okay with that.
all right, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
four decks in the top 8 that
half the
did not.
half the decks in the top 8 weren't blue. Absolutely.
Huh?
Although, did we have was Dredge in the top 8?
No, it was not.
I'm just smiling. I'm just saying it so that we have an opportunity to once again say that Dredge was not in the top 8.
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time.
All right.
When is Dredge ever in the top 8?
No,
Pretty
dude.
often,
I'm just.
from time to time.
It's sort of like.
But it's so frustrating when it is. You're like, no, don't let people play this again.
Let them, dude. I want people to play Dredge. I'll go around asking people if they want to play Vintage for fun, and then just find the guy who's playing the Dredge deck because he always says yes, and I just sit down and just be like, ha, I'm playing Helmline. Taste it. You know what gets me? Back when they used to do gunslinging before they had to make M&Ms with the money from that. When they had gunslinging at pre-releases, they used to have this thing where somebody would come up, play you one game, they win the game, you give them a pack, as the gunslinger or the whatever the PC term was for gunslinger. But one of the
Champion challenge.
yeah, the champion have a champion that somebody would challenge, and one of the things people would do is they'd be like, hey, are you playing Legacy? And they'd be like, I mean, I don't have a Legacy deck on me, but I would play one if you gave me one. And he's like, well, what kind of deck do you want? I'm like, whatever sounds cool. And he's like, okay, how about this? He shows me Blue-8 Cowboy deck or whatever, and I'm like, okay, sweet. And he's just playing full-on Dredge. We're just playing one game for a pack, and it's like, all right, dude, here's your pack. Don't come back.
That's just bad taste.
Dude, used to tell him, and I'd be like, You're really gonna sit down? You're gonna play me with Affinity? You're gonna play game 1 with Affinity full on with, you know, like I don't get. I'm playing like mono blue fairies or something, and I don't get to sideboard. I don't know. But this matchup, none of that. This is gonna be a much more trying to get a positional advantage and then time walking a few times.
Yeah. And while you just bash, like getting ahead is huge here because it's so hard to work your way back into the game from behind in this mirror match.
I wonder.
It's draw dependent, but
You like Jonathan Job to win, right?
yes.
I think I actually like to win whoever draws the most Tarmogoyfs.
Okay.
And I guess if Jonathan is the guy who draws the most Tarmogoyfs and still wins, then it's a wash.
Yeah.
But if Christopher draws,
So it's just like pure value for you. You win no matter what.
no. If Jonathan wins,
If Jonathan wins and does not draw as many tower guards.
or the same number,
Or the same number.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I actually kind of have an advantage here.
but Jonathan has to win for you to win at all.
But what if Jonathan loses and draws more tower guards? Can I still win?
Wait. All right, that seems like it's got too many different permutations.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Christopher winning just in the dark anyway. Jonathan's mulliganing.
Oh.
Sick value. All right. Pretty sure there's still time before mulliganing decisions are made. If you're part of Project Variance to predict how many mulligans will be taking place right here. No, there's probably not enough
Oh,
time.
Christopher also taking a mulligan now.
I take it back. I like Jonathan. Now, at what point? How many mulligans before you start to like the guy on the draw? I mean, I know in standard usually if both people mulligan, I like being on the draw.
In standard, I would say that's true. In Legacy, I would not think that's
What
true.
5-5?
Probably, I guess, draw.
You'll be on the draw if it's 5-5?
Well, in this matchup? In this matchup,
this
definitely.
matchup?
In this matchup, definitely. Because, like, the whole reason the cards like Daze and those things are good is because you have enough cards in your hand to, to 2-for-1 yourself with cards like Force of Will. So you can just lean on people with, like, powerful 1 and 2 drops.
Dude, you know what always gets me is that you only start with 7 cards. Why wouldn't you just all start with 8? And then you could mulligan one time more, because like if you had 8 and they had 7, it wouldn't even be that big of a thing.
And you still have maximum hand size of 7?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Sweet. Right. Well, it's a little bit of a hose being on the draw even
Being
more.
on the draw, bitch, is the worst.
And maybe if you're just on the draw, you have maximum hand size 8. That's needlessly complicated.
Yes.
All right, so it looks like we're going to get the party started. Jonathan is going to keep those. Question is, does he lead with blue mana ship or blue mana delver? He goes ship, and now he's threatening stifle. Definitely a stressful position to be in, being on the draw with the fetch land draw. Says to crack it,
Ooh, well,
and he
No
lets
stifle.
it slide. I was gonna say, what I love is when they go to write down the life total, and they're like, no, actually, you just paid the life. I'm gonna stifle it. All right, so fetching up a volcanic island.
it's a classic Mark for Vault's play.
Dude, we would be playtesting. He would just go into the tank, come out a minute and a half later with, all right, I guess I flame javelin you. Because I just want you to know it's in my range.
Christopher has a turn 1 Delver, and Jonathan is
Brainstorm
going to
response.
respond with a Brainstorm.
Now, do you think he dazes here if he has it? It's tough. You're that turn behind, but like you really want to stop that Delver.
Yeah, and I mean, he has, like, non-fetch lands that he can play around,
Yeah.
so...
I like daze here if you have it. I don't know. I don't think you maybe you force will. I mean, yeah, maybe you do because you got to force will something. I mean, I guess Tarmogoyf's the only other card. Do you board out force will in this matchup?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, nothing is good. Like none of the cards are good.
I put out
Except
Force of
Tarmogoyf.
Will an alarmingly large amount of the time.
Sounds like a leak then if it's alarming to you. But no, I think Tarmogoyf, after Tarmogoyf, Force Will, I think you're right. Force Will should get sidewarded out by more people more often at a time. Because like so often, if you're fighting over things that no one battle is that important, then you don't want to trade 2 cards for it.
Yeah, like, it's one thing if people have, like, just I wins in their
or
deck, like
ad nauseum
like
or
counterbalance, things like that.
counterbalance. So what are we going to see here? Are we going to see Tarmogoyf out of Jonathan? I mean, he fetched main phase, right?
Yeah. Looks like he's going to ponder. And I think he has a submerge in his hand.
I think he actually has. I think he might have a stifle now too. Not
I
positive.
definitely like Jonathan if he has a submerge and a stifle in his hand.
It's a hell of a combo. Wisely fetching up the volcanic island first, so as to play around submerge. Definitely good to see. Jonathan shipping the turn. No flippy, yep. Play Scalding Turn. Administer a small taste of beatdown.
Just a tiny little bit.
Just a
1 point.
Just a little taste. Just a little something to whet the appetite here.
All right, and Jonathan is apparently letting...
Yeah, so I guess he doesn't have... That must not have a stifle.
Yeah, it can't be a stifle.
Yeah, there's nothing really that you want to stifle except for more land, right? Like in these matchups. I guess Snapcaster's ability, that's a really crude way to try to do things. Dude, have we ever seen these guys get above 2 mana?
I don't think so.
How
Like
in
any
the world did they
matches.
cast Snapcaster Mage?
I
Mana
guess
curve
we
is
just
so
saw them
low.
to-
I guess that was
we saw
just...
them get to 3
Yeah.
and start Snapcastering his Spell Pierces and just completely dominate because of his double Snapcaster draw. So.
Dude, Spell Pierce is so good in Legacy now.
Yep.
So good.
Especially on the West Coast.
Yes. Especially on the West Coast where they love the combo decks. So, Delver, Tropical Island Volcanic versus Volcanic Tropical in the identical 75 mirror, which is also identical to last week's winner, which was very similar to the Lewis Laskin brew from the week before. Rug Tempo. It is the deck to watch in Legacy. Powering
It may
through.
be the new deck to beat.
Powering through a field, an unorthodox eccentric field of Elf Combo and Elf Combo and Assault Loam.
Assault Loam.
So we have Lightning Bolt from Jonathan, targeting the Delver, and we're back to just each of them having one of each of their lands. Christopher puts his checklist in the graveyard, and I tilt just a little bit. Sylvan Library.
I think that they should enforce that people play with checklist cards in constructed tournaments and limited tournaments, even if they have sleeves. I think that even through opaque sleeves, you can see.
No, not if they're actually opaque.
But no sleeves are like truly opaque. I
absolutely.
can see through pretty often.
No. No.
Sometimes the sleeve is a little puff on
So
the back.
Christopher drops a Tarmogoyf,
Yeah.
and he has a Wasteland, so he's actually gotten up to the 3 mana mark we talked about. He's reading Sylvan Library, which is really interesting given that he's
Has
also
it in his
playing with
deck.
Sylvan Library. A move made famous at the last Pro Tour by one Kiki Jiki. But I guess that's a story for another day. Sylvan Library, he's going to be activating it on his draw step. They're getting a ruling. How does Sylvan Library activate? This is one of the most common judges' rulings. Every judge is required to do this because whenever anybody ever activates a Sylvan Library, we always go through this.
Yeah. If you're a judge and you don't know how Sylvan Library works, then your usefulness in a legacy event has greatly decreased.
And if you're a player and you don't know how Sylvan Library works, congratulations, that's called being a player.
Yeah.
So, he's deciding
I just call it judging myself every time I use it.
which card does he want. Does he want extra cards? It's always this weird little dance, because you're like, 4 life seems like a lot, but if the extra card gives me an extra turn, then the Tarmogoyfs hit me for 4 every turn anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, interestingly enough, here we're seeing Christian with more Tarmogoyf.
Tarmogoyf's score is currently 1-0. And Brainstorm.
Let's see.
Pyroblast, not surprising.
Yeah, Pyroblast's pretty nice.
That's the whole thing. He's ahead with the Tarmogoyf, and so now he just has to nurse it. Literally, snap counter, anything. Stifle, anything. Bolt, anything. Like, he's literally going to just pull the trigger.
And here, Jonathan with an interesting play. He passes the turn to Christopher, and then decides to submerge Christopher's Tarmogoyf during his upkeep. this will make it so that Christopher will. Christopher drew before the. I'm really confused about what just happened.
Maybe he did it. Maybe he says after you draw submerged Tarmogoyf.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because it would be real weird to do it on the upkeep.
Unless we had like Spell Snare with like some sort of backup or something.
Well, why not just do it on your own turn?
Yeah.
Christopher's tapped out. Yeah, this has got to be after. This has got to be. You can go after you draw. I'm gonna submerge your Tarmogoyf. This
He
way.
wants him to tap mana.
Well, and he wants to keep the Tarmogoyf at bay the longest possible time, because now the
Mhm.
Tarmogoyf isn't attacking this turn, and it's definitely not attacking next turn.
Yeah.
Assuming that the submerge resolves.
And, that might actually be enough time for
Sylvan Library to do the
for Sylvan Library to get Jonathan.
submerge is just absolutely
Really
beautiful
high
in this
card
matchup.
quality.
0 mana. It's just, I mean, Snapcaster the Pyroblast. He's gonna pay for the. We're gonna see Spell Snare.
Spell Snare.
We are seeing Spell Snare. So, this is going to set Christopher way behind, because now he's tapped his mana for the turn and has nothing to show for it. Jonathan, meanwhile, has completely stopped Christopher's rush and still has a Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
I
Which
mean, Submerge,
gives him a pretty big advantage.
absolutely. Submerge, very, very good at actually turning the tides of these tempo mirrors. It's so tough because you always want to play more Submerges because you know how awesome they are, but the truth is, you can't even play them against an awful lot of people. But every time you actually do face one of those people, you're like so thankful you actually made room for a couple, you know?
They're just so powerful in the matches where they're good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might take the player who draws more Submerge.
Dude, so if Jonathan wins and he draws less Tarmogoyfs, this is just brutal. So humiliating.
Yeah, I'll just win back those donuts for before.
Tied up 1-1. Booked. Tied up. Here we go. Scoreboard, count it. So, Christopher, about to draw another Tarmogoyf. And this doesn't count as having drawn 2 Tarmogoyfs, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, he also had less opportunities to draw them because of the Submerge.
Sure. Our random props of the game goes to Efro Poker. If you're watching at home, thanks for having us in your beautiful city. Every so often, just like to give.
Sunny Las Vegas.
Absolutely, thank you. It's the middle of the night here in sunny Las Vegas, and
Sunny, cold Las Vegas.
so Christopher sticks the second Tarmogoyf, or sticks the same Tarmogoyf a second time. Problem is, he's not making any forward progress yet. I mean, it's going to be real bad if this is dismember.
It is. And
Now,
that's pretty rough.
I mean, now Jonathan has both Tarmogoyf and Sylvan Library. Christopher's, once again, has nothing to show for all this mana that he spent. Being on the play.
Yeah, being on the play
Something good.
seems really good in this matchup.
Submerges his own Tarmogoyf?
Oh, that can't be right.
Ambitious. That's ambitious. I mean, I guess he figures that if he just slows down the Tarmogoyf for a turn, that doesn't really get him anywhere. And then at least this way he can try to...
Yeah. Spell Snare.
Oh, yeah.
And
Whereas if you
Sylvan
would've-
Library puts you
If you...
in a place where you could have cards like that in your hand all
Well,
the time.
Maybe he just figured that he couldn't win from this position against Spell Snare anyway. And so you gotta just play as though he doesn't have it. It's definitely an interesting little game of inches, you know? Like in Standard, so often we were seeing matches that were just blown out, determined at a certain point where it gets to like there's a critical battle. You know, there's a little stuff leading up to it, but then there's a critical battle, and then somebody has the game, and it takes them a few turns to win.
Yeah.
This one.
Here, it's up in the air right till the very end.
Yeah, in this particular matchup, absolutely. Yeah, we saw some of the earlier ones where the Reanimator just has a guy, and it's a matter of time. But it looks like Jonathan's just slowly building his lead.
Jonathan just surgical extracted Christopher's
Tarmogoyfs, presumably. Yeah.
So you can no longer
that
lose
standard
this.
operating
You can no
procedure?
longer lose this.
That's That's interesting. Is that standard operating procedure? That seems sweet.
I mean,
'cause
yeah,
he
they
can't
are
really-
the best card, right?
Well, and if you get rid of the
time,
Tarmogoyf, he's got very few ways to win. Snapcasters and Delvers, and that's it.
and you already have a Tarmogoyf on the table.
And your deck has Pyroblasts and Red Blasts. I wonder if Crystal boarded in Surgical Extraction.
I would be really interested to see how each of them sideboarded. Jonathan's gonna get to find out right now.
Absolutely. He's gonna look. He's like, I didn't see.
He
Decides to pull the fourth Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, and he just mouthed, "You sideboarded so bad."
Is that what he
To
said?
his opponent, yes.
Oh,
But-
the trash talk.
I don't know.
It's easy
I
to
don't know if
talk
that's
trash
true.
when you're in a commanding
When you're on the
position.
play.
Of course. It's all fun and games. Christopher's up a game, and I'm going to be on the play in game 3.
Oh yeah, and I mean, John's a nice guy. I'm sure he means no harm.
Psychological edge, man. Dude, he has Lightning Bolt still. Alright. So, he has Lightning Bolt, and I didn't see what the other card was in his hand.
Yeah, but Lightning Bolt is really good when your opponent doesn't even have Tarmogoyf in their deck.
Oh, no, for sure. I'm saying, like, he has Lightning Bolt in another card. Just trying to figure out what the other card is in hand. If he gets a red mana, he can actually double bolt the Tarmogoyf. So, Jonathan decides to keep just the one. No reason to get frisky. Puts the second Tarmogoyf down.
And
it is
Spell
Spellslinger.
Snare.
That's the other card. There's not really any coming back from this position.
I don't think so.
Jonathan pointing to Sylvan Library, suggesting that he's not actually going to pay for it. Or maybe he's suggesting that maybe he will. And that it's not over yet. I tend to think it's over. Yeah. Oh, destroys his land. That'll teach him.
Yeah. Takes out both of his lands. Now he can just bolt his opponent.
Does he have red
Oh
mana?
no, he does not have red
Took
mana.
out his land.
Yeah. Yeah, but that'll be it.
All right, so Jonathan has tied it up. Game apiece. Crowd definitely getting into it over there.
Yeah, I mean they're going to game 3 here. This is it.
The
It's
Delver
always
Mirror.
fun when finals go to game 3 because it's like one game to rule them all.
Dude, do you think 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, people would have guessed that Delver of Secrets would have been the flip card